come on. You didn't think we were going for a real ride, did you? This is one of those use your imagination kind of rides. But we are going to get to drive this thing someday. Just not today. Welcome back, everybody. Hey, everybody. How's it going? We're getting back on old Pickle the bus today. I've got to do a little organizing of parts and things like that. I'm kind of in the mood for organization right now. And I thought we could, together, go through where the structural pieces go in Pickle's floor and kind of figure that out. A lot of the pieces are up here in the rafters. But as you can see, someone, not me, is now using Pickle as a lumber dump. So we need to get that out of the way because I can just see my kiddo taking said bicycle right into that and putting a unnecessary dent in this perfect project. So we need to deal with that. And yes, my bus is on the tow hitch because it quit on me. Old Faithful quit. We went to a trunk or treat at a local, the local VW club put on, and on the way back it started to rain. And this thing decided it wasn't going to run. I initially thought it was something electronic that had gotten wet, but it will start again and again and again. It just won't run. It acts like it's running out of gas. So I'm thinking fuel pump. That's supposed to be in today. So hopefully we can get that one up and running. And this one, you can see the seat is out. That's because we don't know if it killed the battery or what happened, but it won't start either. So we have two Volkswagens, neither of which run. And I've been playing around with, I don't have time to fix them and get them running, but I sure have time to play around with plasma cutter. Been playing around with that a little bit. I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet. It makes a pretty good wall hanger, and it backlights really well. It's really pretty when it's backlit. I left room. I went around the witness marks of what was a snowflake outline, snowflake taillight. And so these bigger taillights that are on the 62 kind of overlap into my cut pattern where I went. So I don't know really what I want to do with that yet, but this is my first attempt at plasma cutting up car body. I have a front fender that I'm planning on doing something with off of the same car. This is a 59 junkyard car that we got at the local junkyard. But at some point, I'll figure out what I'm going to do with that. I kind of like the red showing through. So I thought about tracing, or not tracing, but trimming the fender back, leaving one bolt that'll go into the running board, leaving the bumper mounts and the tail light, so that would kind of hold it on just as like just a sleeve. Kind of goes over the red, because I think it looks kind of cool with the red. But it would look cool also if we remove the red entirely and just put the blue on so you could see the wheel, tire. I don't know, play around with it. So, you know, instead of working on Pickle, I've been doing stuff like this. So let's get up there and pull down the metal that we can and see where we're at. Hopefully I have enough to kind of make it work, or at least get us started on putting some floor back in this thing. I know up here is at least one inner rocker. Can't remember, it's been too long ago. Cannot remember if I have two. Oh, there's just one up there. Looks like, yeah. Let's get that down for sure. Hoarding. Yeah, I'm doing good if I remember where the parts even are. It doesn't look too bad to make. Yeah, pretty straightforward. If we just had a metal brake, we're going to work on that too. All right, so that is one panel. Let's not put out the window here. Can I get it? Ah, just barely. That's good. Now, there should be up here a piece, I think it's up on this shelf. There should be a piece, that centerpiece where the big heater tube goes through. I think it is right back there. So it's, of course, behind all of these boxes. So they put you down. I'm going to dig that out. And then we'll dig out a couple other pieces. I think we've got what we've got. I usually do a fairly decent job labeling, but on this one, I made the mistake and put it on the end. But I think this is the box we need to get into. It has our, take my glove off, has the pieces that we need. I think, oh yeah, this is it. But the spring plates and some other stuff are in here, so we don't need the whole box down. You little booger. Yep, that's what we need right there. Now, if we can just get it down without knocking everything else. Oh, there's another, we need that too. Another outrigger in there. You gonna hold me? You gonna hold? Yeah, that'll hold. We have one in there. Oh no. Oh no, friends. There are two. But I need both hands to get that one out. Well, I think I've managed to unbox and unwrap all of the pieces that I have. I know I'm going to need more, but that's what I have, quote unquote, in stock for now. And this is the haul. For those of you who've been on the channel a while, you remember that this bus, this is Rusty the Double Cab, won a Best in Show a couple of years ago. I think it was 2 years ago now. Anyway, I got a gift certificate with that, and I took that gift certificate money and put it right back into this bus and bought all of this metal. And then all of the metal that has been other stuff, like these rear corners, there's a rocker panel up there, there's a bunch more metal up there, was paid for with Pickle Chips. So I appreciate all of you supporting me, and I certainly appreciate that I have not had to buy really any metal on my own except for that metal that's right down there, which we'll talk about here in a second. So I've got these pieces, the outriggers, funny story on the outriggers. So these were listed wrong on the website for, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes. And I jumped on it and I purchased them. I was going to make them all, but they were, when they were 15 bucks a piece, I just bought all 4 of them because I can't make them for 15 bucks. The jack points, let's see, how does this go on? Do I have that right? Go on. Do one-handed. I think that goes like that. Right? Am I wrong? I think I have it on there at one point. Oh, I see what we're hitting on up here. Hang on. It is not wanting to go in there, but I know that's the way that goes. Maybe I don't know. Anyway, I think that is the way that goes. And then just imagine the main 2 frame rails where my hand is. So that sits right like so. And this one goes on the front side. So I think we're in pretty decent shape. The only thing that I have had trouble getting are the cross braces in the flooring that are not these pieces. So no big deal. We're just gonna make them. I kept one of them. This piece here is what came out of there, and I measured it, and it's 1 3/4 is what it is when you count for the wobble that's in this one. And I have a great friend in Martinsville that owns a steel company. The main company is actually in Indy, but he runs a business also out of Martinsville, and I was able to get 1 3/4 from him. And he even cut them for me. So that's what we've got to work with on the floor section pieces. So why don't we try and get a little bit of this mocked up and see what we're missing. I'm glad I didn't have to make those. They don't look too terrible, but knowing where to bend and all of that, it's just kind of nice to be able to buy it. Look how cheap they were made, though. I couldn't be, beggars can't be choosers kind of thing on what metal I got. The funky green metal would have been ideal, but we get what we get. This is what they had. I'm not going to turn down free. Let's put it that way. Yeah. They are what they are. Before we get going, I wanted to mention, you know, when you go to cut all that stuff out, I either have to go back and reference all the videos where I measured everything. I did take pretty good notes as I took stuff apart, but it's hard to know and to kind of remember where everything went unless you document it well. There's a great resource available to Volkswagen people, the samba.com. There's a feed, there's a thread on there, and I'll put a link. Must be time for video. The neighbors just start up the mower. I'll put a link to this diagram. You can see I can flip the frame structure any direction I want and look to see what I'm missing, what I need. Shows me where the jack points go. I mean, it's really good stuff. And I like that you can orient it any way. So that has really helped. There's this, I was planning on making those, like I said, and all of it's in metric, but all the measurements are there. And then there's even a piece that shows you how to cut that piece out. And then the frame piece. And then this is the one we're going to utilize the most. And it has in metric the measurements of where each of those things go. And it actually tells you coming off of the torsion tube to center, kind of where that point is. So you know where the frame rails kind of do that little kink. It tells you the distance from that. So I think this is a pretty valuable resource. And again, I'll put it in one of the comments that I pinned down below so you can get that information should you need it. But this is going to be saving my hind end, I'll tell you that. With that, let's go into the bus. I don't know if I can leave you out here. You know, we might be better off just kind of assembling this on the floor out here. I do want to make sure these two pieces fit in where they're supposed to fit in at some point. Assembling everything down here, and I'm gonna transition that now to the bus, and we'll just see. I'm hoping these go in. I know this one I think is gonna be wrong because it says it's for a, this is the front one, it says it's for a 68, and that was the only thing they had available on the website when I ordered it, so I think it's gonna be wrong. But we're going to try it anyway. It should be the same. 50 to 68 should be kind of the same for most parts. So let's haul that in. I'm going to shut my computer here. Don't want our papers to blow away, so we'll put a paperweight on them. And then we're going to need 3 I-beam style. And I'm just going to use the 1 3/4. And then we need 3 of the U channel, so I'm going to use the same stuff for that. So let's see if it fits in here. I know these are too long. I had them cut them at I think 5 feet, maybe 6, I can't remember. How wide's the bus? Let's answer that. Hang on a second. It's been too long since I had them do those. Fortunately, I was smart enough to have this metal cut before prices went sky high. Oh, I had them cut them 5.5, I guess. 66. So we have 6 of those cut to that length, so we should have enough. The 6th one is outside the bus. So these should work, I think. They're gonna be too long, but I'll go move that wood and we can just shove them through the through the missing section of the bus there. That should work fine. It's all fine. It'll be fine. It's all fine. You ever seen a Volkswagen with straight pipes? Yeah, me neither. Now you have. I know. Well, that's kind of starting to look like something. This one, the front crossmember brace, is a little tight. I don't think I can beat it in with the hammer, and I just measured, and I don't think I want to beat it in with the hammer, because where our rotisserie mounts, right there, is where our beam mounts. So I measured the distance between that up under the bus, and we need to leave it where it is because that's what matches my beam. So we're going to leave that alone. I'm just going to modify the piece by cutting it, and I think we'll be just fine. This one, ironically enough, is just a little bit loose, so when I set it in a spot, it wants to just drop through, and that's totally fine. All I gotta do on that is bend the tabs out so that we can get it to kind of sit there long enough for me to weld it, and it's good to go. Outriggers and jack points. This one is the only one I've got to cut a slit for. The other ones already have slits cut in them, and they slip on just fine. I think this tubing is going to work out perfect. Not worried about that it's not an I-beam look. I think it's going to work out just fine. We're not trying to keep everything in the bus totally perfect, and you won't see that anyway, so it won't matter. And the inner rocker, I don't know if I have that upside down or not. Let me look at my picture. There's a lip on this side. Figure out which way that goes. That's the only other piece we need. So we just need one more of those, I think. Somebody's going to say, nope, you're missing, you're missing this, you're missing that. But I think I've got it all, miraculously. So I don't know if I want to try making that or not. I've had a hanker, and I want to make a metal brake in my shop. I mentioned that in one of the other videos, so I don't know. I don't know if I want to try making that or not. It cost about, I think it's about $45 to buy that piece right there. It's 18 gauge, I believe. So yeah, this is going to be good. I think this is going to work just fine. I am thanking past Marci for buying steel when she did, because that would not be cheap to buy now. I think it looks like it's going to work, and I'm really glad about that. I don't know about you, but it's kind of good to see something that kind of looks like a floor in there again, don't you think? So with that, I'm going to sign off. I appreciate each and every one of you being here. I realized we weren't doing anything fun like welding and plasma cutting or stuff like that, but there is that side too where you have to kind of pull from all your resources, in this case the technical data on the Samba, to kind of figure out where things need to go, because 90% of that stuff this bus didn't even have on it, so I don't have any witness marks or anything to know where it went. There are a couple witness marks where a cross member, the I-beam sections, were on the main support rail, so we can go off of that, but nothing else was there, as you all know. Like, if it was there, it wasn't the right stuff, and I ended up cutting it off and couldn't save any of it. It was just a hodgepodge of junk metal and booger welds, and now I feel like we're kind of starting with a clean slate, at least a cleaner slate. So I hope to have this ready to go in and kind of be ready to go with welding these in place for the next video. And I truly appreciate each and every one of you being here and your support. We'll see you next time.